Kiefer Moore and Gareth Bale. Maybe James and Bale will drop back alongside Ramsey, but it's certainly the most attacking formation that Wales could come up with. They're in a huddle at the moment. The last words from Gareth Bale, always the leader 5 years ago, but the captain today. Switzerland have Jan Sommer in goal. Across the back, Nico Elvedi, Fabian Schär of Newcastle, Manuel Akanji, the two wing-backs, Kevin Mbabu and Ricardo Rodriguez, Rema Freuler and Granit Xhaka in the midfield. Ahead of them, Xherdan Shaqiri of Liverpool, and the two up front, Breel Embolo and Haris Seferovic. Half the pitch is bathed in sunshine, just a little, maybe more than a half, in the shadow of the stand behind us, as the two sides await the kickoff. The referee is Clément Turpin of France, just waiting for the all clear. It's 28 degrees here in Baku, and of course this is the second game after the opener in Group A last night, as both sides take the knee. The FA of Wales said they would take the knee. No place for discrimination or prejudice in the global game. So Wales are back. 5 years ago, victory in the opening game at Euro 2016 was their springboard to an unforgettable 25-day adventure. What's in store for the class of today? We're underway. Wales playing from left to right. Immediate touch for Kiefer Moore, bounces off him, and the ball is in the Swiss half and back at the feet of their goalkeeper Jan Sommer of Mönchengladbach. Alongside me, the former Wales striker Nathan Blake.
Yes, good afternoon, Rob. Good afternoon, everybody. Really looking forward to this, Rob. I have to say, anticipation, the build-up. We've been here, 3 hours now, and you know, just really looking forward to this game. So hot. It's going to be difficult for players today, but I'm sure they've been really relishing this this opening fixture.
This is Xhaka of Arsenal, forward to the left wing back, Ricardo Rodriguez, who plays his football in Torino. They're spread far and wide, the Swiss players. 5 players from the Bundesliga in the starting lineup, 3 Premier League players. Little flick on by one of them, Xherdan Shaqiri, and the ball is hoiked away into the Swiss half, and there's no danger there. We played a minute. You're listening to Euro 2020, the delayed Euro 2020, on BBC Radio Wales 5 Live, and on a baking day in Baku, as Sommer, the experienced Swiss keeper, clears into midfield, chested down by Allen. Lovely touch by Ramsey. Allen looks at James, left side of the penalty area. James has 2 up against him, crosses into the middle, and Sommer collects.
Yeah, good start though from Wales, Rob. You know, both teams knocking the ball around pretty slowly. Switzerland under no real pressure, then all of a sudden Wales set a trap, win back the ball. Lovely flick, as you said, from Aaron Ramsey around the corner, and a good ball in by Dan James. Regardless if the keeper Sommer catches it, it just puts that ball in the box and shows the intent from the get-go.
And Babu back to Fabian Schär, who wasn't expected to start, as Wales win the ball in possession again in midfield. First touch for Gareth Bale. The captain has Connor Roberts overlapping, finds him into the penalty area. Ball across the box, and it's played out to Bale. James was just behind it. Bale again, 15 yards from the penalty area, chips it across, header forward, picks out James again. Davis chests it down wide to Daniel James. James has to go back to Allen, just in front of the halfway line, and a touch for Joe Morrell.
Such a good ball, that one, inside the defender, Rob. And Gareth Bale, good ball in as well.
This time Bale has it whipped off him by Akanji, and the Swiss counter-attack starts on the far side with Seferovic, closely marshalled by Tottenham's Joe Rodon, forces him back to halfway. 3 minutes gone goalless here in Baku, the capital of Azerbaijan, the second game in Group A. Switch of possession and overhit by Akanji of Borussia Dortmund. He was looking for Mbabu, who is the right wing back. They play with wing back, Switzerland. Wales today going with the flat back four, Nathan Blake.
Yeah, and Mbabu is the type of player who likes to get forward, Rob. Very quick, very strong. very skillful as well. So a real danger man, but thankfully that ball straight out of play. But a good start by Wales.
Moore gets a touch on. I think he was fouled, was he? No. The foul goes against him, and that is going to be interesting today, because you were saying he picks up a lot of fouls, Nathan Blake, but also he concedes a fair few.
Yeah, you know, it's early on in the game, and you know, you want to make your presence known regardless, Rob. You know, you might give away 1 or 2 fouls. Don't want anything stupid. It's just a simple challenge.
Rodriguez clips the ball forward, headed out though by Chris Mepham of Bournemouth. Sent off, of course, in the playoff semi-final defeat, but impressed against Albania in Wales's final friendly, the goalless draw. Switzerland playing right to left in the sunshine. Here's Mbabu. Mbabu back inside. Seferovic tries to thread it in the inside right position. Wales get the ball away with Ramsey. Tries to feed James. That's cut out though. James had open space to run into then. Switzerland pick up possession again. Wide to Mbabu. Attacks Ben Davis. Feeds it inside, but Allen was across to snuff out the danger. And cool play by Wales. Until Ramsey tries the first time flick, until James tries the first time flick up to Kiefer Moore, puts the ball up for a throw in. 5 minutes gone. It's Wales 0, Switzerland 0. 5 minutes
gone, Robin, and Wales have broken that defensive line of Switzerland twice. So straight away, it makes you think you're not going to have an easy game stroking the ball around at the back. If you're Switzerland, you really have to be on your toes. And as you've seen, good slick pass in the middle of midfield when they win the turnover, Wales, and unfortunately they just couldn't break. But you can see their intentions with Dan James on that left.
This is Brel Mbolo, edge of the Wales penalty area. Rodriguez crosses in from the left-hand side. Header beyond the far post. It was Mbabu coming in. And referee decides it's a corner. Ben Davis begs to differ, but Switzerland win the first corner, 6 minutes gone.
That was a good ball in. I don't know where he's got that's come off Ben Davis, because Mbolo was a good foot above him and got a clean header on it, so surprised at that.
Torino's Ricardo Rodriguez with this corner from the left-hand side. 4 white shirts in the penalty area. Akanji is joining them now. Shaqiri close at hand to the corner taker. Looks like it's going to go into the box, so the white shirts head towards the near post, and it's over the head of everybody. And James picks it up on the far side. Can he escape Mbabu? No, he can't. Mbabu wins back possession, then floats in the cross. That should be easy for Danny Ward, who actually started in the opener in 2016.
He did, yeah.
Wayne Hennessy had a back problem on the morning of the game. As we welcome to the World Service, BBC World Service, to Baku for this second game in Group A. It's Switzerland 0, Wales 0. We've played 7 minutes at the Olympic Stadium in baking temperatures as Kiefer Moore flicks on, and that's easy for Zomer.
Yeah, and that's the situation there where there has to be someone gambling, someone like Dan James or Gareth Bale or both, because he is going to win most of those flick-ons, Kiefer.
Ball is flicked down this left-hand side to Shaqiri. Shaqiri, a couple of step-overs, but seen off by Mepham, who charges into the next tackle. Got a bit of Mbolo, but the referee allows play to continue. Switzerland have it midway inside the Wales half. Mbolo is still down, and the ball is put out for a throw-in by Akanji, so that the striker from Mönchengladbach can have treatment. It was a juicy first tackle by Chris Mepham, Nathan Blake.
Yeah, and he wins the ball quite comfortably, Rob. So no studs showing, you know, kept his feet, you know, face down, and it's actually Mbolo makes contact with Mepham. Yes, Mepham's, you know, momentum takes him into Mbolo, but Mbolo's left his foot in there and is expecting a free kick, but more than a fair challenge for me. Making his intentions known early on the Swiss striker there.
The two coaches are in differing clothing. Vladimir Petkovic, let's get his name right, obviously has a wedding to go to later. He's all dressed up in a suit. Rob Page is in t-shirt and tracksuit bottoms with the trainers, as he likes to be. Really proud moment for the man from Tylerstown in the Rhondda, captain Wales, of course, and now he finds himself as Wales manager. Ball is brought out from the defensive backline by Akanji into the midfield. Good turn in that midfield by Embolo, who's fully recovered. Rodriguez, seeing plenty of it on the left-hand side, has to go back inside to Xhaka. Xhaka across the midfield to Freuler. But Wales holding a solid defensive line at the moment, and they force Switzerland back into their own half. The 8th meeting between these two sides, the first at a major tournament, and so crucial, the opening game.
Yeah, and that's really good pressing by Wales. You know, just putting enough pressure on the Swiss players to force them backwards and all the way back to the goalkeeper. Allows Wales to move up towards the halfway line. It just shows their intentions.
Well, the Swiss come in on the back of 6 wins in 2021. Xhaka, their captain of Arsenal, wouldn't talk about his future yesterday, talk of a move to Roma. Said, I'm concentrating on Switzerland for the next few weeks. See how long that lasts. Elvedi forward, and Wales put the ball up for a throw near their left corner flag. Kevin Mbabu of Wolfsburg to take it. Back to the centre circle with Akanji. Akanji has room to move into, but not much movement overhead, so goes wide to Rodriguez. Comes infield, back to Akanji in the lime green boots. Floats out a right-footed pass out to the far side to Shaqiri, who's able to wander anywhere. Shaqiri angles in a left-footed cross from the right-footed cross on the left side. Breaks on the edge of the box, and a snapshot deflects off the back of Haris Seferovic, and Wales have a goal kick. It's 0-0. We played 11 tense minutes, Nathan Blake.
Yeah, it was a good header, wasn't it, from Rodon? Under severe pressure, backpedaling. He needs to get there because he knows, you know, Seferovic and Bolo are behind him. But in the first instance, I think Davis is going to have to get out there quicker to a Shaqiri, because he knows the quality he possesses in that left foot. He would have played against him plenty of times in the Premier League. It was a great ball in by the Swiss player.
Clearance long by Ward, helped on by Bale that time. Tried to head it into the path of Daniel James, but Elvedi was there. Header forward on halfway by Mepham as the Swiss tried to clear. Too strong for Moore of Cardiff City. 20 goals for him this season in the league, and only started 1 of the previous 7 in a Wales shirt.
Yeah,
Robert Page kept us all guessing.
Yeah, you can clearly see what the Swiss intentions are. Trying to suck Wales out of shape and exploit the width. But Wales doing really well at the moment. And that ball's being transferred across the midfield. Each midfielder for Wales is coming out and just doing his job, not actually getting his foot on the ball, but forcing the ball across. And then when the long pass comes, the wide men are in the right position, or the defenders, the fullbacks in the right position. So I've seen that ball switched and out of play for a few times now.
Ramsey tries a switch now, out to Bale on this near side, breaks past one challenge, chance to cross from the byline. Bale wants it on his left foot, crosses into the middle now, just beyond everyone. Moore puts a thank you hand up, but wasn't one of Bale's best crosses, that one.
Yeah, it's a lovely touch out of the air there, Rob. Brought it under his spell so comfortably. And once he shapes up the defender, once he fronts him up, you know, it's a different ball game then. The defender gets panicked. Unfortunately, just couldn't deliver the quality on that cross.
Gareth Bale earns his 93rd Wales cap today. Jumps ahead of the great Neville Southall to 3rd place by himself in the Wales cap records. Gentleman on the bench, 2 gents on the bench ahead of him. Wayne Hennessy on 96, and the Centurion Chris Gunter on 101. Always ready for action. 0-0 in Baku, 13 and a half minutes gone. You're listening to 5 Live, BBC Radio Wales and BBC World Service. Group A in the Euro 2020 Championships, the delayed Euro 2020 Championships. Don't forget, on 5 tonight, Denmark against Finland from 5 o'clock and Belgium-Russia from 8 p.m. Ward collects.
I think the great thing about this seating position, Rob, even though we're so far from the pitch, just watching there, Joe Allen, you know, we were a bit worried about his fitness. Just watching his anticipation, he's already in position before the ball's being played.
And that time Moore does get a free kick. Share just backed into him, the Newcastle defender. Morrell takes the free kick quickly in the centre circle to Davis. The red shirts moving forward now with James on that far side. The Wales left. Daniel James crosses into the middle. Header pushed over the top by Zoma. First chance for Wales. Kiefer Moore. It was the old 1-2. James cross, Moore header, and Zoma palmed it over the top for a corner.
Yeah, brilliant by Dan James down that left-hand side. Takes his defender down the outside and puts a lovely left-footed crossing. We've seen it so often in a Welsh shirt. Kiefer Moore with so much to do. He's about 8 or 9 yards out, backpedaling, gets up, uses all his neck muscles, Rob, goes across the keeper. And in fairness, Zoma with a great right-handed save, pushed over the bar.
Wales' first corner, left-hand side, 15 minutes gone. The warning signs are there. James crosses in. Moore the target again this time. He's put off and he's down on the deck. A clash of heads. Kiefer Moore. I think he's going to be okay, though.
I think
he's up.
Yeah, he's okay. I think both of them okay, thankfully.
But that's what Wales wanted, wasn't it?
Well, they've, like I've said, Rob, they've threatened already in the first 5 minutes. They've got behind them. Oh, that was a bad clash of heads.
Yeah, it was in Babu, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's just turning around. He's aware. And he does get a little skim on it, but Kiefer's above him, gets the full header on it. And in his motion in turning, they just collide. But thankfully, both of them are up and on their feet. I think Kiefer's got a bit of a cut over his right eye. But as I was saying, Rob, you want to be penetrating that rear defence, that rear line. Early doors, they've done that. And Dan James just showing a clean pair of heels, and he's threatened it once or twice, and the ball hasn't arrived or it's been blocked. But that's all Dan James has to do for the first 10, 15, 20 minutes of the game, is show that the right side defender, whether it's Alvedi or Babu, just show him that clean pair of heels, show him that he can beat them on the run. And it was a fantastic header, wasn't it? We're just seeing the replay. Great ball in by Dan James. Kiefer Moore slightly going backwards, but he really gets a great, powerful header on it.
Goalless in Baku on 5 Live, Radio Wales and BBC World Service. Kiefer Moore, the Cardiff City defender, still having treatment. I think he's going to be okay. He's just holding a
it's just
a little
nick.
patch over his right eye. And he's just walking out to the side now. We're accompanied by the 2 Wales physios. A bit more work on the touchline, I think. And the game will start with the big Cardiff City striker having a bandage, I think, on his head. I think he's going to be, well, he's easily distinguishable now. And as you might expect, it's a red bandage. Game has restarted. Zoma sportingly fired the ball all the way downfield.
Nice touch, Rob.
Yeah, so it's back in Wales' possession. I'm looking around. I can see the flags from Blackwood and Bather. There are, I'd say, a clutch of about 100 Wales fans behind the goal to which they are shooting at the moment. And then there's a smaller clutch of Swiss fans on the opposite side to us. We're perched high in this honeycomb stadium.
High, real high.
We're really high, yeah. Good job we don't suffer from heights. There's running tracks around the pitch, but they're all covered with green, I assume it's false turf, maybe tarpaulin. But it's a really impressive stadium, this. Built for the 2015 European Athletic Games.
By Joe Allen.
Yeah, Allen was putting pressure on Embolo.
Yeah.
And Wales have won back possession. Ramsey in his own half chips it across to Connor Roberts of Swansea City. Fires it upfield. Moore is waiting to come back on. Ramsey was battling for possession, but Embolo has it. Immediately the two Welsh players, Allen and James, surround him.
Getting lucky by Roden.
But Mbabu's got the rebound. Heads towards the Wales penalty area. Is that a corner or a goal kick? It's a Swiss corner. 0-0. 19 minutes gone. And there's not much between these sides as we expected, Nathan Blake.
No, you would say that probably Switzerland have a bit more possession. But Wales very good on the counter-attack and, creating themselves chances, or created a very good chance in Kiefer Moore. So, showed that they're dangerous on the counter-attack, which is what you want right from the get-go.
Shaqiri with this right-sided corner. A little flick, good save by Danny Ward. It was Fabian Schär of all people. It was drilled in just to the corner of the 6-yard box. Schär got a touch, and Ward was happy to knock that away with his legs up for another corner.
Taking the second one quickly as well, Rob.
They have, full of invention. Shaqiri on that right-hand side. Can he cross? Chips it in, left-footed again, easy for Ward, collects on the edge of his 6-yard box.
Yeah, and I do Danny Ward a world of good as well. Very good save with his legs. But you do have to ask, how does he get that space in the first place? I think it was Mepham. He seemed to get the run on Mepham. It looked like a bad ball from Shaqiri. But Schär, lovely back flick.
Yeah, the Newcastle defender somewhat surprisingly playing because he's had his injury problems. Has got 8 goals for his country, so he knows where the goal is. And a scare at either side at the moment. 0-0 though on Radio Wales 5 Live and World Service. Davis now into Allen in midfield. James, so important. And remember, they've got Brooks and Wilson.
Comes back in. Seferovic has been a bit more aware, and just a little touch on, you see, plastic.
There's just a section of the pitch mercifully in sunshine now.
Yeah, and Wales are going to have to just think about how they begin those restarts, because Xhaka's just dropping in front of Kiefer Moore, which means that he's not. Danny Ward can't drop the ball into his chest or into his feet or anything like that. So they'll have to find a different way of getting out and playing their way out of defence rather than going with that straight ball up to Kiefer Moore, who's doubly marked, one in front, one behind.
Former Wales striker Nathan Blake alongside me at the Olympic Stadium in Baku in Azerbaijan on the banks of the Caspian Sea in very warm temperatures, 28 the last time I looked.
Just say
the referee has stopped.
It's been a beautiful few days so far, isn't it, Rob? Weather, beautiful city, absolutely magnificent.
And the first flat ball of the championship. That won't do. Only lasted half the first half. Now the referee is getting a bit impatient, Clément Turpin of France, for the arrival of another. Don't forget there is VAR in these championships for the first time.
Surprising to see a ball like that so early on. Just got that one from the local newsagents, Rob.
Drop ball. Switzerland have possession, playing right to left, all in white. Akanji inside to Schär. Schär across the face of the halfway line to Freuler. Down that right-hand side, Seferovic in behind Ben Davis, who now gets back goal side. Switzerland have everybody in the Wales half bar their goalkeeper. Sujin run inside right position. Now the cross comes in left side. But Connor Roberts marched the run of Rodriguez. Breaks on the edge of the box. In fact, well outside the penalty area. And it's driven wide by Granit Xhaka.
Yeah, good defending on that right-hand side. But it all stems when I think it's Mepham is just playing slightly too deep on the back line. And Seferovic makes the run in behind Ben Davis, and played onside by Mepham. Just needs to be careful about his position.
Wales look to build an attack. They've not been in the Swiss half for a few minutes now. They're not prolific goal scorers, Wales. They're not bad defensively.
Well, they need to do this better. They need to build through midfield. That's better.
Allen to Ramsey. First time ball forward by Ramsey around the corner, but too strong for the captain, Gareth Bale.
Yeah, not on the same page there. The two superstars. Ramsey calling for Bale to make the run immediately. And saying no, take a touch. Picking out with my feet.
Chip forward, Roden has to backtrack. Bolo was behind him. Davis clears into the sky, although he'd do well to get over the roof here. Well, there isn't a roof as far as the pitch is concerned, but he'd do well to get over the stands. Because it's 6 tiers, this stadium, 69,000 capacity. I might say there'd be 5,000-6,000 maybe here, maybe a few more. And it's 0-0 on 5 Live, Radio Wales and World Service. Group A in the Euro 2020 tournament. Seferovic slides the ball into the Wales penalty area. But it was Ramsey who got back there to see off that little burst.
Yeah, just a bit ragged at the moment. Just having a...
Freuler had made the run into the
minutes.
penalty area. Yeah, he's on the ball again now. He's got line boots as well.
Just having a problem with that movement between the front two and Shaqiri behind, and then Freuler making that late run also.
Xhaka to the aforementioned Freuler, 25 yards from the penalty area. Wide is Mbabu. Babu slides it into the box. Seferovic holds it, turns and blasts it left-footed wide.
Yeah, it was a good turn, and after the strike, let's have a look how close it was. It's a good turn, gets away from Roden, and yeah, decent strike and goal with his left foot. Doesn't hit the target though. Of course, has a bit of a reputation for missed chances in World Cups and European Championships.
He's got 26 for Benfica this season though.
Absolutely, he's had a really good season for his club.
And Seferovic has got 21 goals for his country.
Yeah, already he's turned over a new leaf. He doesn't think about the missed chances so much, but I guarantee you if he misses one today, those demons will soon come back into the head.
Do you know all about that?
I don't know a thing about that.
Nathan Blake, former Wales striker. 0-0.
Yeah, the tempo of the game was slowed because I think it's probably because of the heat, Rob. You probably find second half when it's a bit more shade, as the pitch is dropping into shade.
Freuler brought down Ramsey. He tried to speed it up then, didn't he?
Yeah, a bit cooler, and I think we'll see the game pick up a bit more.
This is Morel, who's earned his place in this Wales side through some determined, industrious performances through the spring. Chipped forward by Mepham, looking for Kiefer Moore. Moore heads it back inside, picked up by Xhaka. Not the best ball though by Xhaka. Bale intercepts. The Wales players getting mixed up with each other, Allen and Ramsey, and that's allows Shaqiri to break into the Wales half. He's got Mbabu to his right, Seferovic to his left, couldn't find either. And that was all about Aaron Ramsey tracking back and getting a vital tackle in.
Yeah, Shaqiri looking for the foul, but as you said, Rob, really good tracking back by Ramsey there. Kiefer just getting a bit disappointed. He's expecting a bit too much of himself, I think, at the moment. He just needs to settle down, play the game. And he's had a few flick-ons and a few touches which haven't come off.
Liverpool's Shaqiri is seeing plenty of possession.
Yeah, that's what Freuler's doing. He's running players off. Xhaka seems to sit, and Freuler running players off, and Shaqiri just coming on the underlap and picking the ball up in space or drifting out onto the flanks, both right and left.
Coming up to the half-hour mark, and it's hard work for Wales at the moment. They're being penned back. Xhaka floats the ball into the penalty area. Babu plays it back along the ground. It's cleared away. James, leaves two stranded. Now Daniel James has got plenty of green space to move into. James up against Cher. Up to the penalty area. Goes past him, brings him down to Shea. That's a free kick. Took one for the team then and the first yellow card.
Yeah, but it's great positive play by Dan James, Rob. You know, takes out two defenders, like you say, down that right-hand side. And just opens his legs. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, go on. Take on the final defender. You'll do him for pace, but there was no way Shea was lending past. A real professional foul. And just took him out. But it's good if you're Kiefer Moore, good if you're Dan James now. You know, if you can expose him, get him out on that right-hand side one-on-one, he can't get near you. If he sticks that leg out, he's looking at the red next time, so he'll be on tenterhooks for the rest of the game.
He's marked now, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
And the danger may have been averted, but not disappeared, because it's a Wales free kick, and it's literally a foot and a half away from the right corner of the Swiss penalty area. Bale stands over it. Gareth Bale, the captain and the talisman. Moore is the one to aim for. I wonder whether he might
go for goal.
Go for goal, yeah. We shall see.
Probably contemplating it right now.
The referee just has a word with the Swiss wall. There are three in it as Bale stands poised. Ramsey in behind the defensive line, which is just around the penalty spot. Gareth Bale for Wales. Clips it into the middle and goes past everybody. And out for a goal kick.
Yeah, that can't happen. You know, you've got all your defenders, attackers in there. You know, it's just where you want it, right across the 6-yard box. Dan James, Kiefer Moore, evades them all. There's nothing worse for a striker. Seen a ball go across the face of you in the 6-yard box and out for a goal kick or a throw on. You know, such a quality ball.
Just past the half an hour mark in Baku on 5 Live World Service and BBC Radio Wales. Don't forget, on Radio Wales after this game, call Rob 03700 100 110, text 81012, and Vicky will take your tweets on at BBC Radio Wales. And of course, you should never forget the Daily Euros podcast, all the news, interviews and analysis from Euro 2020 every morning. And you can get that via BBC Sounds. You can often hear me and Nathan Blake argue, but we haven't had much to argue about today, Nathan.
No.
You were right on the team news, we'll give you that. And I've had to bury the hatchet on that, really.
Yeah.
Although I did change my mind last night, and I did say, you will be my witness on this, I did say, having chatted to Rob Page, I thought Kiefer Moore would start.
I don't remember you saying that, no.
Typical. I'll have you back, Nathan, don't worry, I'll have you back. 0-0. Rodriguez receives just inside his own half on this near touchline, close to his coach Petkovic, who will be happy with the way things are at the moment. 33 minutes gone. Although the pressure on both of these sides is to get a win in the first game, especially after Turkey's 3-0 defeat in Italy last night in the opening game of the Championships and of Group A.
Very good, didn't they, the Italians, Rob?
They did. Shea hoists the ball out to the running Rodriguez near the corner flag, left-hand side. Bale has gone back to help out with the marking. Roberts was there as well, cross into the middle. And it was Ben Davies who took control of that to head it up for another Swiss corner.
Yeah, that's his experience there, Robbie. He's become aware that they're trying to suck him in, and if he's too far over trying to cover Rodon, then you know, Babu's going to be steaming down that right-hand side, looking to exploit the back stick, but his distance is right and comfortably got that away there. Great defending by Ben Davies.
Group of 4 shirts around the penalty spot, interspersed with 4 red shirts of Wales. As the corner's driven in low. What does the referee decide? He's given another Swiss corner as it goes past Danny Ward's near post.
Yeah, it was Elvedi. I don't know, he's got so much space again, you know, in that near post area. That's about the 3rd corner which one of the defenders or attackers have got free.
It's curled in this time again. Kiefer Moore gets his head behind it. He's jumping for another header as well on the edge of the box as it came back towards the Wales penalty area. Freuler hoists it out to the Shaqiri on that far side. the Swiss right. Shaqiri moves back infield. And Switzerland build again with Cher, who's been booked on this near side. Just 15 yards inside the Wales half.
Yeah, Wales, for me, they're going to have to work a bit harder in getting their back line up to allow their midfield to put a bit more of a press on the Swiss midfield and defence.
Xhaka having to drop back in, isn't he?
Yeah, it's difficult because it's hot, but you know, they save themselves a lot more running in the long run.
Connor Roberts of Swansea City was alert then, headed the ball out as it was directed towards Rodriguez for a Swiss throw, levelled the Wales penalty area.
Yeah, you can see Robert Page now, I think he's just telling the back line to do that, get him up. But,
he's pointing the other way, isn't he?
He's waving his right hand, saying they need to get up a bit more. They can't just keep soaking up this pressure.
Just tried to go down the middle, breaks to Embolo, took a first-time shot, ricochets away. Out of harm's way for the moment, but out for a corner as we go into the last 10 minutes of a really tense opening encounter here in Baku.
Typical opening, Rob, I think you'd say, but like I said, can't continue soaking up that pressure. As you've seen last night, once that line is broken, really difficult to get back in the game.
Shaqiri with another corner from the right-hand side. The style has been low, curled towards the near post again. Kiefer Moore heads it out. Freuler heads it into the air, picked up by James. Sees the run of Ramsey, picks out Aaron Ramsey over halfway. He's got Bale way out on the left, chips it forward, looking for Bale, took a deflection. And that's what stopped it reaching the Wales captain, and Freuler was able to collect and pass it back to his goalkeeper Zomer, 0-0.
Yeah, we've not seen quite the same influence from Aaron Ramsey as we've seen in previous games, Rob. This afternoon, he's had a quieter 40-odd minutes, I have to say.
It's been an injury worry, hasn't he? Didn't train on Thursday.
Yeah, Rob Page did say that was always the intention, though, that people made more of it than it actually was, but judging by his performance so far, he's not at top full tilt, shall we say.
Fahed El-Vedi into Cher. The Newcastle defender wide to Freuler. Freuler just to whiz it into the Wales penalty area. Deflected off Seferovic, who's on the ball now, 10 yards from the penalty area. Into Embolo, knocks it past two Wales players, but Roberts stood his ground, and then it's driven across by Rodriguez. Bounces to Morel, little backheel to Bale, and Roberts thinks about clearing but leaves it to Mepham.
Yeah, and if you look at that ball, that's what I say, the midfield are going to have to work harder, because there's the ball up to Kiefer Moore. Okay, it's over his head, not a lot, but you don't see anyone trying to break, trying to get up and close to him, and that's been the problem.
Seferovic was the target for a through ball then. Headed back by Aaron Ramsey of Juventus, and Danny Ward will collect. Isn't the danger of playing Kiefer Moore is that he just attracts long balls like that?
No, Rob, it's not. If you watch the game, what's happening at the moment, the reason why I just said about Page and myself was saying calling for the back foot to come up a bit more, is then the midfield pushes up and you get closer to Kiefer Moore. But at the moment, Kiefer Moore is isolated, I would say.
Robert Page was just complaining that Cher was all over him then, shoved him down. But neither the fourth official nor the French referee, Clément Turpin, were impressed by those claims.
We're not creating enough possession. When we're getting the ball, we're almost, because we're a bit leggy and a bit tired, it looks, we ain't got that energy in ourselves. It seems like it's the first option we're looking for, when really and truly the way we play and the way we've been playing, you know, we're looking into Joe Allen or Morel. That's why Morel is in the team, to make us tick. Like Aaron Ramsey, we've got three in that midfield, but they're being overlooked at the moment, and then none of them again then close to the centre forward to get the second ball. So at the moment they're just tracking runners and defending.
Moving up as a unit now, but they've threaded it through to Xhaka, into Rodriguez, tries to switch play out to Mbabu, but Davis read that, heads it up for a throw. as we approach the last 5 minutes of this first half. Just one attempt on goal, on target for each side. Cat and mouse. Rodriguez chips it towards the Wales penalty area. Allen header back, and Roden is able to clip it out for another throw. Wales have been under pressure for most of this half, Nathan Blake.
Yeah, and Joe Allen, of the three amigos, the three big boys, Bale, Ramsey and Allen, he's by far having a greater game. And like I said earlier on, after 5 or 10 minutes, he's reading the play well, he's covering ground, he's sweeping up, protecting players. Just seen an instance of it there. But the other two, Bale, Ramsey, we're going to need a bit more from those two superstars.
Red Wall looking to aid Wales. I'm sure they can hear them singing. But it's Switzerland, 13th in the world, are asking all the questions at the moment. As Freuler thinks about shooting now, plays it to Seferovic. He does shoot, and from just outside the box, he skies it over the top.
Yeah, and he's really angry with himself, Rob. Seferovic does really well, creates a space for himself, but if you just look at his body shape, as he goes to strike it, his foot's under the ball, and he's just off balance and leaning back. Doesn't get a clean strike on it, but a player of his quality is going to be expecting to at least hit the target. He tries to put too much power on it without enough control.
Those people in the faded seats opposite us, they brought the sun tower. Wow.
Yeah.
There is no escape, is there?
No, but good thing is to see the pitch now, almost covered, fully covered in shade.
This time Ward clears towards Bale to get the flick on. Wales can't get the second ball though. Rodriguez.
It was difficult, but they are going to have to try and get those second balls or maintain better possession. It's as simple as that.
Babu drives forward, right-hand side again. He's got help. Into Mbolo in the penalty area. That time Mepham went with him. Out to Mbabu again. Forced towards the far touchline, goes inside Ben Davies, but the Tottenham defender recovers well. Chips the ball forward. Did really well because Mbabu was in behind him there, wasn't he?
Yeah, and he likes to do that, Rob. I've seen him play before. He likes to get in. He's got that chop as well, that little Cruyff chop, which he's just done on Ben Davies, but all his experience there, Ben Davies read it well.
Davies is in strongly again, but he's given away a free kick as he tried to intercept a through ball. He's caught Mbabu. He plays for Wolfsburg in the Bundesliga. Helped Wolfsburg to 4th in the Bundesliga this season. He's a rangy right wing back.
He's athletic, Rob.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
Very athletic. Got a great spring on him, as we've seen. He's been up and down that right-hand side, threatening and behind Ben Davies.
Well, he's been battling, hasn't he, with Sylvain Widmer of FC Basel for that right-sided slot, the wing-back slot, and you can see why coach Vladimir Petkovic has gone for him today. Yeah. 2.5 minutes to half-time. Babu is getting some treatment.
I think Ben Davies is just trying to leave a little slow one on his calf or lower calf there, trying to slow him down, I guess. The sore one's a little sort of dead leg or in the calf, feels like a dead leg.
Kit Simons, one of the Wales assistants, was sat behind us for the anthems, but he's disappeared, probably to get to the dressing room in time. It's so far down, along with a couple of the Wales analysts.
I think they just probably, if I'm analysing the game, Wales are just too deep at the moment, not winning enough second balls, and because they're so deep, they're not able to play out. They're being pressed and losing the ball.
Free kick, Switzerland, 15 yards from the Wales penalty area, into the Wales penalty box, and Bale takes no chances. The captain heads it behind, and he's seen far too much of the ball in his own half and not enough in the Swiss half. In the opening 44 minutes on 5 Live Radio Wales and BBC World Service. This time Rodriguez will take the corner from the left-hand side. Granit Xhaka is close to him. think this is going into the middle. It does now. Header from Shea, kept in on that far side by Seferovic. Wales get the ball away, but only as far as Shea drives through two players, but Wales come away with it. And a poor ball forward.
Shaqiri, wasn't it? Trying to get that on his left foot, Rob. He's beaten one player. He's just trying to stutter and trying to drop his right shoulder, get on his left foot. He's like he lost control, a bit of a tackle as well. Wales unable to break away.
And it remains goalless. Not unlike we expected, frankly.
Well, I expected Wales to be better, if I'm totally honest, Rob. They're not doing either thing well at the moment.
2 minutes of added time, and Bolo gets a chance in the Wales penalty area. He put it into the path of Seferovic, who's lobbed it over the top.
Yeah, that one too deep again.
Well, he was caught then, Neto, wasn't he?
Yeah, and Bolo pinned him, and he's got to just step in front of him there, step him offside. It's the second or third time now he's been caught deeper than the rest of the back four.
He had some of his shirt as well, and Seferovic, well, really, he's got to take a chance like that at international level, hasn't he?
Well, not necessarily take the chance, but make a better effort of it. At least get it on target and make the keeper make a save. But like I said earlier, Rob, there's something about tournaments for the lad that seems to be a problem.
We've got a minute of added time left. Wales have plenty of problems on their hands at the moment. It's goalless though, which I suspect will suit Turkey as well after their defeat last night.
Yeah, well, we started well first 5-10 minutes, Rob, but we've seen little or nothing since then.
One keeper more effort, and at the other end, well, Seferovic has had a couple of chances, and Shea forced a good save from Danny Ward. What will Rob Page be saying at half-time, do you think, Nathan Blake?
You need to push the back line a bit more, allow your midfielders to get closer, put tackles on, and then get up and support your striker. Because at the moment, he's totally isolated. And what Switzerland have been able to do is pin Wales back and keep them in a deep defensive block. I don't think Wales' intention was to play that way. But it's just Switzerland that have kept the ball better, won more second balls, or the majority of second balls.
And that is the half-time whistle. Rob Page looks at his watch as he heads down the tunnel way below us. It's been a really tense half. Wales started brightly, had a great chance through Kiefer Moore, who forced Jan Sommer into a fine save, but Danny Ward has also been busy at the other end, turning away a shot by the Newcastle defender Fabian Shea, and also happy to see Seferovic knock the ball over the top. There is much for Wales to do at half-time. They've not been really dominant as an attacking force, and that will trouble Rob Page. Vladimir Petkovic will probably think that's the way he wants his side to play, dominating possession and causing Wales some problems with their movement, not least Shaqiri, the Liverpool player. But it's all square in Baku at half-time. It's Wales 0, Switzerland 0.
Nathan, Wales might have come the closest, but they haven't spent most of that half on the back foot.
Absolutely, Steve. It's a poor performance. There's no getting away from it. Yes, the heat would have, play a part, but it's the same for both sides. And I just think, Bale, we've not seen him. Joe Allen has been tremendous, really. He's been covering a lot. Morrell, not seen enough of him. Ramsey, not seen enough of him. James, we've seen glimpses of, but looks threatening when he's in the attack position, but not seen enough of him for me either. So they need to get closer to Kiefer Moore. He's very isolated. Ramsey, not sure what's going on with Aaron, because he's not getting close enough to Kiefer. They're not winning second balls, and at the moment Switzerland are able to just pin Wales back into that final third, which I don't think was Wales' intention, and it's really causing them a major problem.
Also still got James Collins with us on 5 Live Sport. Good job Seferovic can't finish, isn't it?
Yeah, as Blakey says, Wales have been poor. Be very disappointed with them. And Nathan's hit the nail on the head. They're far too deep, Wales. You know, like you say, a bit of a catch-22. They're too deep, but then they're not getting anyone up next to Kiefer Moore. I think Joe Allen needs to push the team forward. You know, Aaron Ramsey we haven't seen get on the ball and do anything that we know he can do. So altogether, the whole team need to get up the pitch and do more.
Scott says that chance right there is why we wanted Kiefer Moore in the team. Switzerland slowly putting the pressure on Brett. Kiefer Moore with the Terry Butcher red head bandage. Slow-mo, Nathan, doesn't do the save justice.
No, it was a fantastic save, I have to say. And Kiefer just had to take a step back and really generate the power in the header. Great neck muscles and superb header, but, you know, in fairness, Sommer off to his right-hand side, he'd anticipated it, and it was a really good save. But two chances, too few and far between for me, Steve. You know, in the first 5 minutes, we've seen Wales break the back line twice, get crosses in. A lovely ball by Bale, threaded inside. Roberts gets the cross in, and you're thinking, OK, we're going to start to see this more often throughout the 45 minutes. Seen Dan James break down the left-hand side twice, get good crosses in. One for Moore's header, but aside from that, we haven't really seen Wales. They've been pinned back, and they need to do more. They need to do more. They need to get close, further up the pitch. They need to get closer to midfield. And I'd like to see Aaron and Dan James's pace. Dan James's pace is ridiculous. So when the ball is going up to Kiefer Moore, you know, gamble off him, get in behind him. Just don't wait on that left-hand side, waiting to skin the defender down the outside. Just gamble across the line a few times.
That's the thing, Nathan.
I'm sure he'll get in.
We're committing so many numbers back to defending that when we actually do win the ball, the boys who are getting the ball haven't got a pass on to get up the pitch. So obviously Pagey being there now telling them what they're doing. But like I said, it all comes down
and
to...
you'll know, James... James Mepham, he's been caught about three times too deep.
Yeah.
Right, the last time in Bolo's like pinned him, but he was deeper than the line anyway. If he steps up before the ball's played, he catches him offside. But he just seems to be a bit panicked and worried, and he's thinking, as long as I can see the man, I'm okay.
It's funny as a centre half though, Nathan, you know it is. If you don't see many of the boys in front pressing, which I think there needs to be a bit more urgency in pressing in front of him, then you can hold that line. I think at the minute he's thinking if he's not seeing too much pressing going on in front of him, he's taking the easy route out and staying a bit deeper, which, you know, can cause more problems than it's worth sometimes.
Do you think the frustration, James,
absolutely,
is going to be that, you know, there are players in this Swiss team who can grab a game by the scruff of the neck, but it's not that Shaqiri suddenly switched it on and Wales got pressed back. It was their own errors, really, that led to it.
Yeah, it is, and it's not like this Wales team. You know, they have been, you know, when they have had possession, as Nathan said, they've been sloppy. Normally they're crisp and sharp with their passing. I think that the times they have been able to get the ball down and play, they've panicked a little bit, and the quality hasn't been there. So, like I said, it's not disastrous. We're still in the game. It's still 0-0, but, you know, there certainly needs to be a big improvement in the second half to get anything from the game.
Much more coming up on 5 Live Sport before second half commentary from Baku. Wales 0, Switzerland 0. The first of 3 commentaries from Euro 2020 on 5 Live Sport. This afternoon we're bringing you Denmark, Finland at 5 o'clock and Belgium versus Russia at 8. We'll have more shortly as well on New Zealand's innings against England. They are almost all out. They're 9 down but now lead by 72, and we'll build up to the French Open final in the women's draw as well, which takes place later tonight. You'll be able to listen to that live on the BBC Sport website and app. We'll do all of that, then the second half from Azerbaijan after the news with Stuart Clarkson.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thank you, Steve. Boris Johnson has told the BBC there are grounds for caution ahead of a final decision about the lifting of all remaining coronavirus restrictions in England. There are suggestions the move could be delayed by 4 weeks because of concerns over the spread of the Delta variant. Here is the Prime Minister.
We're looking at the data and continue to do that. We'll be saying more on Monday when the decision comes due. You know, the roadmap was always cautious but irreversible, and in order to have an irreversible roadmap, you've got to be cautious.
Mr Johnson also pledged to do whatever it takes to preserve the territorial integrity of the UK as tensions continue with the EU over post-Brexit trade in Northern Ireland. The Prime Minister says there was a misunderstanding on the EU side and he believes pragmatic solutions can be found. EU leaders have been pressing the UK to respect the terms of the Brexit deal. Meanwhile, G7 leaders meeting in Cornwall are expected to agree a new plan to halt future pandemics within the first 100 days of an outbreak. The Carbis Bay Declaration will also set out a series of measures intended to achieve it. A second teenager has been charged with conspiracy to murder in connection with the shooting of a black rights activist, Sasha Johnson. She remains in a critical condition in hospital. Another 18-year-old man appeared in court last month. And most Aer Lingus flights from Belfast City Airport and Dublin to several UK cities have been cancelled after Stobart Air, which was operating the flights under a franchise, went into liquidation. Flights to Leeds Bradford, Edinburgh, Exeter, Manchester, East Midlands and Birmingham are all affected.
Hey, it's Charlie Hedges. After the football, host your own after party with a special football-themed dance mix over on BBC Sounds. Just search Home Nation Heaters Mix.
This is 5 Live Sport
with Steve Crossman.
Wales 0, Switzerland 0. Second half commentary on the way from Euro 2020. Let's go back to Edgbaston. I think the last time, Ellie, we spoke, New Zealand with 356 for 6. It's turned around since then.
Yep, absolutely. Since you were last with us, we saw James Anderson finally taking a wicket in his 162nd test. I was about to add another 200 test matches to his extraordinary record. But yeah, just coming on, roar of the crowd, took off the off bail of Neil Wagner for a duck. Then Matt Henry fell LBW to Mark Wood, not even reviewed. It was Plum hitting leg stump. He was out for 12. And then Tom Blundell, just now an edge to Joe Root at slip off the bowling of Stuart Broad for 34. Broad has figures of 3 for 44. Just trying to get rid of this last partnership now. Trent Boult and Ajaz Patel, they put on 18 runs so far for the 10th wicket. The lead is 76 runs. Having lost 4 for 26 at one stage, Henry Moran sitting alongside me. England just want to get one of these last two out very quickly.
Yeah, this is an unbearable partnership from England's point of view, because not only will the openers be thinking about what they've got to do to get England back into this game, but also the number of runs that are being scored is actually quite significant. The lead's up to 76, inside edges to the boundary. Trent Boult's just scored one through that sort of region. They're not holding back as another one slapped down the ground for 4 more, and the lead goes up to 80. If it gets around 100, that is a massive lead in this first innings. So England are desperate for this wicket. It has to come soon.
Plenty of time in this game, and you just think that England, if they can restrict the lead to under 100, that will give them a chance to have a defendable target. But the pitch has not shown any signs of any sort of shock, so we will just have to wait and see. Steve, England just really need to nip out one of these final two. Thank you, Henry. The lead is 80 runs for New Zealand, 383 for 9.
Ellie, Henry, thank you very much. For the 6th year in a row, someone is going to win their first ever Grand Slam at the French Open, and it's Barbara Krejcikova that's made the better start, Russell Fuller.
Stunning start after looking very anxious in her first service game. She served 2 double faults, dropped her serve, but then won 6 games in a row playing with real authority and nice variety. She looked like she had absolutely the belief to be a Grand Slam champion as she took that set by 6 games to 1 in half an hour. But Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova can pack a punch, and she started to find her range early in this second set. The winners are coming off the racket a lot more regularly than they were, and she has the break. She leads 3-1 and she's serving at 30-15.
Thank you, Russell. You can listen live via the BBC Sport website. On the live text as well, the Listen Live button is just at the top of the page. It's the last day of the regular Premiership Rugby Union season today as well. There's a mini soap opera going on in mid-table as teams look for places in Europe. Sarah Orchard is watching Wasps Leicester.
Yeah, that's right. Last day of the season rules mean all games kick off at 3, except the 2 games that have been cancelled due to COVID. And in the last 20 minutes, the 2 home sides for those games, Bristol and Worcester, they've both been awarded 4 points by a Premiership panel. And the 2 away sides that had the COVID cases, that was Gloucester and London Irish, they've been awarded 2 points. And as you say, the mini soap opera, you have to finish in the top 8 to play at Europe's top table, the Champions Cup next season. And there are 5 teams still competing for 3 remaining spots. 8th place London Irish, well, they can do no more. I'm focusing on 7th place Wasps against 6th place Leicester. Just got underway in the last 30 seconds in front of me. 9th place Bath, they face possibly the most tense afternoon as they host the already safe Northampton at the Rec. While 10th place Newcastle, they're looking to perform the near impossible away at 4th place Harlequins. I really hope you were taking notes there, Steve. I might test you later.
Thank you very much, Sarah.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds absolutely fine. We'll see. Sarah Archer there, who's watching Wasps against Leicester for us. A couple of minutes to go until the second half kicks off in Baku. Wales 0, Switzerland 0 at half-time. James Collins with me in the studio. Do you want to see changes? Is it too early for that?
I think a little bit early for that. Obviously, there was a lot of talk before the game whether he was going to play Kiefer Moore or play the false 9 with Harry Wilson. But like I said, Wales haven't been great by any stretch of the imagination. You know, there is still time. You know, they've had chances, Switzerland, but we're still in the game. Wales have got to be confident they can come out and play better than they have first half. And like you say, there's still time to, no need to panic yet, still time to win this game.
I actually think it's quite a good thing how critical we're being. Because you wind the clock back to 2016, there's so much euphoria about being there. I mean, obviously, Wales won the opening game anyway, but you know what I mean? We look at it maybe differently.
Yeah, we did. And you know, if you look at Wales's last, you know, they're not prolific scorers, so maybe this is something we should have expected. You know, they're still in the game, they're defending when they've had to, defended reasonably well. Like I say, Robert Page won't be happy with the amount of possession we've had or where we're getting the possession. You know, it's nowhere near high enough at the pitch to be causing any problems. But like I said, no need to panic. The second half to come, I'm sure we can we'll see a better Wales performance.
And look, Switzerland could have the half of their lives here. Who knows? But I mean, there's not a great amount to be afraid of there.
No, I think Wales have got to realise that you've got to push yourselves at the pitch and go and win the game. There's no point sitting back. This is a tournament football. So if they can get the win, it's huge. I like to see them a bit more on the front foot, pressing higher and winning the ball back higher and having a chance of scoring a goal rather than sitting back and maybe Gareth Bale will do something or Cross will come in and Kiefer Moore will get ahead. And really, I'd like to see them on the front foot and go and really try and win the game.
That's James Collins with us all afternoon on 5 Live Sport. We are ready for second half commentary from Baku. Can Wales find the goal that would give them the perfect start at Euro 2020? Nathan Blake is alongside Rob Phillips.
Yes, welcome back to Baku, which is the capital of Azerbaijan. It's the world's biggest city below sea level. We're actually 28 metres below sea level. Well, actually, Nathan Blake and I are not, because we're high up in the gods of the stadium. Yeah. But, and frankly, Wales have been a bit below level, haven't they?
No, they've been poor. As we said, Rob, they've been poor. They won't be satisfied with that first half. Just looking at them coming out of the tunnel now, having words with one another. And, Switzerland have kept the ball better, won more second balls, looked a bit more threatening, had more possession. At the moment, Wales, there's a few problems going on out there, which they need to resolve and resolve quickly, because if it continues, they're going to get tired and, concentration levels are going to fall, so it's going to become increasingly difficult.
So I'm looking at the Wales players sprinting back onto the field. The Swiss are in a little circle, just going through last-minute warm-up routines ahead of the second half. Remember, Italy lead this group after their 3-0 win over Turkey last night. Turkey arrive here in Baku on Wednesday to face Wales. Switzerland travel to Rome to play Italy. And then Wales play Italy in Rome on Sunday the 20th. So it's Wales playing from right to left. No changes at half-time. They're about to kick off in their all-red strip, playing away from the red wall, who've made their presence felt here in Baku. As Kiefer Moore just stretches his legs, wearing a red bandage now around the cut which was over his eye. As Wales kick off, looking for much better in the second half to break the deadlock. And that was an inauspicious start, as Chris Mepham fires the ball, looking for Mepham, and out for a throw-in. So Wales have Danny Ward in goal, 4 across the back, Conor Roberts, Chris Mepham, Joe Rodon and Ben Davies, Joe Allen and Joe Morrell in the engine room, Aaron Ramsey just in front of them, Daniel James on the left, Bale on the right, and Moore up front. Give it the Swiss side in a moment. They will have been much happier with this first. Slip in midfield allows Mbolo to drive forward, and Babu's been a constant threat down the near side. Mbolo shoots on the edge of the box as Ben Davis gets hauled down by Mbabu.
I think it's Dan James.
Dan James, sorry, yeah.
This poor start right from the get-go, Rob. He met them ball straight out of touch.
Maybe?
No,
Get into some of them?
Well, maybe, but Mepham just knocks the ball straight out of touch. You see Kiefer Moore's reaction straight away. They've obviously been told this is how we're going to start the second half, and he kicked the ball straight out of touch. And I'd also say Morel there in midfield. You know, he's just following his man rather than went to the keeper. There's a chance for you to go in and have a bite. If they get
Moore got the flick on from that free kick.
He's going to receive a yellow card.
He's going to receive a yellow card for a foul on Fabien Cher, who is on the deck in agony. So Sommer in goal for Switzerland. Elvedi, Cher and Akanji, the centre-backs, and Babu down the right, and Ricardo Rodriguez down the left. Freuler and Xhaka having the run of the midfield, you have to say. Xherdan Shaqiri of Liverpool running wherever he wants and causing problems, getting into those little pockets. And then up front, Breel Mbolo and Haris Seferovic, who's probably missed their best chance. Cher is still down. Moore has been shown the yellow card by the referee Clément Turpin of France, who actually refed the Europa League final between Villarreal and Manchester United. Cher is now sat up. He may have a
it's one of
knock
them,
in the
Rob.
face,
It's one of them. There's no intent from Kiefer Moore and Cher. You know, they're both going for the ball, and sometimes you get an arm as you jump. You don't jump with your arms by your sides. It's one of them sort of innocuous challenges that referees tend to punish all the time, but that's why I say it's one of those situations where you've got to have a better understanding of the game, because you can't jump. You're not a pogo stick. You can't jump without your arms. As simple as that. And yeah, you can say the player needs to be a bit more careful, but they're both honest players, both going for the ball.
Remind me where you played again, centre forward. That was it, wasn't it? And Bolo turns. Oh, he's into the Wales penalty area, and Ward has made a good save. And Bolo got in behind the Wales defence, then took the shot early, right-footed, and Ward had to parry it away left-handed out for the second half's first corner. It's come within 3.5 minutes on 5 Live, Radio Wales and BBC World Service.
Yeah, it's a great turn, wasn't it, by Mbolo. Actually leaves Rodon for dead. Rodon trying to get back, Mepham trying to get across. Uses his strength to get between the both of them and get a shot off. Great save by Danny Ward, though.
Switzerland corner from the near side. Mbolo header! Mbolo scores to break the deadlock in Baku. Switzerland are ahead. The squad engulf each other, and Breel Mbolo of Mönchengladbach scores the goal, and it's Switzerland 1, Wales 0, and it's been coming, Nathan Blake.
Yeah, it's been coming for a good 30-35 minutes, Rob, and I don't know how many corners that is now they've had, but again, it's poor marking. It's Connor Roberts this time, too tight, can't get enough of a jump, and Mbolo just pulls away from him, uses his strength, and then it's a good header down to Danny Ward's right-hand side. But like you said, Rob, it's been coming, and Wales, I have to say, have been poor. They need to pick up their game.
Switzerland take the lead. And it was so easy, really, for the highly rated youngster. He's only 24, the Mönchengladbach player. And it's his 6th goal for his country. And now Wales have it all to do. They trail 1-0 in Baku, and they need to do something just to up the tempo as much as anything. Real test for Rob Page's men now. Real test for Rob Page. James down the left-hand side. Exchanges passes with Davis, but easily robbed by Elvedi. And Bolo on the ball again, and wins Switzerland a throw-in. And it's 1-0. against a team who are in good form going into this tournament. How do Wales respond now, Nathan Blake?
Well, they've got to pick it up, Rob. It's as simple as that. They need to get back in the game as quickly as possible. Right, and even if it's the 89th minute, they can't afford to lose this game. I think we've made that painfully clear before the game started.
Does that hasten possible manpower changes?
Yeah, like I've been on record saying I think they're better in a back three. I've said it before, but you know.
Roberts forward to Bale. Bale crosses in from the far side. Zoma collects before Kiefer Moore can even get there. That was the Welsh right.
Like I was saying, Rob Page has decided to go with this formation, and we were led to believe the last 2 games was about fitness, but I have to say today they just don't look sharp, Wales. They haven't looked sharp since the 6th or 7th minute.
No, and Bolo's turned away against Mepham, driving towards the Wales penalty area. Sets up Mbappe, who shoots across the face of the 6-yard box. Wales were undone. They really are struggling out there at the moment. Yeah. Switzerland are holding all the aces.
Yeah, and Bolo looks good, doesn't he? That's the confidence a goal gives you. He had the option out his left-hand side. He didn't take it. He just said, I'm going to drive at the heart of the defence. And he sets up Mbola, and Babu's in 2 minds. I think he's caught whether to shoot. He should have put his toe down and laces through it. Goes across the goal and just didn't find the angle.
Wales tried to build from the back on the goal kick. Davis finds Moore. Chests it down into the path of Dan James. Can't get the first cross in. Skips inside Shearer, who has to be careful because he's been booked. Ramsey takes over, left-hand side, level with the penalty spot. Crosses into the middle. Easily cleared away. Allen collects. Midway inside the Swiss half. The red shirts playing from right to left, trailing a goal to nil on 5 Live Radio Wales and World Service. Ramsey back inside to Morel. Morel plays it short to Bale. Bale onto his left foot, runs into Freuler and wanted a corner, but it's a goal kick.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It looked like it rebounded off Gareth and did go out for a goal kick, but yeah, like I said, Rob, they're going to have to switch gears, this Welsh team, to get back in the game. The longer it goes, the more difficult it's going to become. The Switzerland have clearly shown they're better in possession than Wales today.
They have. They're playing from left to right, all in white, and Babu's had an effective game. Shaqiri flicks the ball inside, looking for Seferovic. Header in midfield by Bale, but picked up by Freuler. He and Xhaka have run the midfield, really, haven't they?
Yeah, and they've done well because Freuler keeps running players off and Shaqiri keeps pulling wide and underlapping and picking up the space and making things tick. And then you've got Mbolo, who's a willing runner ahead of them, causing them real problems, Wales. They haven't been able to resolve it.
Plenty of worries for Robert Page, the Wales manager. His 9th game at the helm. Ball is driven down the Wales near side.
And again, Rob, this is where you think, well, you know, using the 2 friendlies against Albania and France as training exercises, you know, I just don't think was a good idea. You want to get into your stride for the tournament. And at the moment, we're off the pace.
James is waiting on the touchline on this left-hand side, but the ball is on the other side. Roberts can't clear it up towards Bale, so Wales take a throw in. Now the whole pitch is in shadow. Bale receives from the throw, drives it out towards James, and Babu just did enough. Bounced over his shoulder, but he was always ready to collect it. Yeah. Then he runs into Ramsey. And Ramsey is penalised. Switzerland free kick. They lead 1-0, 10 minutes into the second half in Baku.
Babu's been in the wars today, hasn't he?
Hasn't slowed him down, though, has it?
No, it hasn't. He's a great athlete up and down that right-hand side, I have to say.
Well, Wales have only beaten Switzerland twice. Did win their last meeting. That was way back in 2011 when Aaron Ramsey and Gareth Bale scored goals. But Wales need their stellar players to burst into action here, because they've not delivered so far.
And we've had, I have to say, Connor Roberts at that right back position, he's giving the ball away too cheaply at the moment.
Doesn't have the same freedom when he hasn't got three centre backs inside him, though, does he?
No, he doesn't.
Embolo, full of confidence, sweeps into the midfield, but just gets it stolen from him. Ramsey, piercing ball out towards James. James attacks Elvedi, cuts inside, leaves it to Ramsey. Ramsey looks right. Roberts in attendance. Back to Morel. Morel chips the cross in. Flicked header by James. Cleared away by the Swiss defence. Wales have looked a little more lively since the Swiss goal went in, but Embolo hits it into the Wales half, and Seferovic has got the wrong side of Mepham again. Misjudgment by the Bournemouth defender.
He just got eased off it, Rob.
Keeps getting the wrong side, doesn't he? 1-0 Switzerland. Shaqiri took a little jump then. Morel complains he was putting it on. Not the best of buddies, those two. But Shaqiri is smiling at the moment as his side lead 1-0 in this Group A game in Baku. Share, easy for Switzerland at the moment. Happy to hold possession. No need to make the pace now. Akanji looks at the long through ball to Mbabu. Davis is in attendance. Leaves the Swiss defender on the deck, but now he catches up. Ball inside to Ramsey, and they've not yet left their half of Wales. Rodham picks out his former Swansea teammate Roberts. Morel. Bale on the touchline on halfway. Roberts is up ahead. Bale switches play to James on the left-hand side. Lovely ball, lovely take by Dan James. Level the penalty area. Now heads towards the byline, clips it into the middle. May break on the edge of the box for Roberts, who hit it, but it was deflected away. Starting to ask a few more questions now, Wales, and then Morel can't control possession. Creates the foul, and the pressure is ended.
Yeah, clever, wasn't it? I think it's Seferovic just gets the touch off Morel's poor touch, and then does what all good strikers should do, just relieves the pressure on his team. Allows them to start again and rebuild. Takes that momentum away from Wales, which they were beginning to build.
The noise you could just hear were the red wall. They realise this Wales team needs help. And they were so effective so often in France 5 years ago, and subsequently at the Cardiff City Stadium when they've needed a lift, and they need a lift now. It's been an arm wrestle in the city where the World Arm Wrestling Federation has a base, but Switzerland have been dominant. They've muscled their way into a lead through Bril Embolo. Bale, seeing more of the ball in this half, has a run down the Wales right, clips it across to James on the left. James is the outlet every time. Head towards the penalty area. Was that a foul by Embolo? No, he's won a corner though, as Dan James.
It kind of looked like a foul. Seemed to lean into him. It's come off worse as well. Let's see more of Dan James in this second half, Rob, which is just something we can look forward to. If he can get more possession, quality possession. I think he's got the beating. He's shown clean pair of heels a few times to the Swiss defence.
Now Embolo has gone to ground as Wales look to take the corner, so there'll be a bit of a delay here. Reminder, you're listening to Euro 2020 action from Baku in Azerbaijan, Group A, which is currently topped by Italy after their 3-0 win over Turkey last night. It's 1-0 to Switzerland. Their goal scorer, Bril Embolo of Mönchengladbach, who's currently receiving treatment as Wales look to take a corner. Don't forget, if you want your views on this game, call Rob on BBC Radio Wales from 4:30 your time, 03700 100 110. Text Vicky Blight on 81012, Twitter on @BBC Radio Wales. And of course the Daily Euros podcast, all the news, interviews and analysis from Euro 2020 every morning. You get that via BBC Sounds. And Embolo is still getting treatment as Dan James takes this left-sided corner for Wales and need a goal back rapidly. Easily cleared away. Shot from the edge of the box by Ben Davies. That would have been a collector's item, and it's gone over the top, and Wales have got another corner.
Yeah, it must have taken a slight deflection, Rob. It's a great first touch by Davies. And yeah, I think it's Seferovic. Just takes a little nick off him. Encouraging.
Yeah, we're just past the hour mark. It's 1-0 Switzerland. James with the corner again. Allen in close attendance, floats it beyond everyone though. That was poor by the Manchester United winger. It's picked up on the far side. Nepham has realised that. Now he's out of position as the pass is inside him. And Rodriguez tried to find Shaqiri, but it's cut out by Davies for Wales. Keeper more on halfway. Back to Joe Allen of Stoke City. Finds Bale, 10 yards inside the Swiss half. Thinks about shooting. Just shoved off it by Akanji. Good defending.
Yeah, really good defending, Rob. He knows Gareth wants to go onto his stronger left foot and just read it well and just put his body across him.
Seferovic holds off Roden to find Xhaka, who threads it through to Mbolo. That was better by Mepham. And Roden as well. Strong challenge. Morel up to Bale inside the centre circle. Now it's with Roberts. The tempo is better in this half.
Yeah, still needs to lift slightly for me.
Allen to Ramsey. Ramsey inside left position, midway inside the Swiss half. Trying to shrug off the attention of Elvedi. Davies has it now. And all the Swiss players back in their own half. Bale slides it into Morel, centre field, wide to Roberts on the right-hand side. Moore waits on the edge of the penalty area. Swiss holding a defensive line 4 or 5 yards from their own penalty box. Ball is curled out to James. Tries to go past him, Babu. Goes to ground, Dan James wins the free kick, and Babu's going to be booked.
Yeah, he's going to be disappointed with that as well, because he's got a full foot on the ball. Dan James has tried to drop his shoulder, go inside him, and then Babu's asking what for. You know, he goes through the man to get the ball, I suppose the referee's going to say, but you know, you would say that was I suppose a 50-50 situation. Could be deemed either way.
We won't argue.
No, we won't argue at all.
1-0 Switzerland. Babu joins Fabien Cher in the notebook of referee Clément Turpin of France. And it's a Wales free kick down their left side, 2 yards from the right corner of the Swiss penalty area. This time looks like it's going to be an in-swinger from the Juventus playmaker Aaron Ramsey. Bale adds height. Roden and Mepham are up from the back as well. The Swiss defensive line is level with the penalty spot. Ramsey floats it into the middle, flicked on and just past the far post. Just needed a touch as it went on its merry way, that one.
Yeah, we've seen that a few times now, haven't we? This time from the left, right-footed, curled in, great ball. Just evades all of the Wales attackers. Great ball, though. You can expect if you're Aaron Ramsey to see a red shirt on the end of that. Said it in the first half, though, Rob, can ill afford to let those balls go across the 6-yard box without getting someone to get a touch or something on there.
Ramsey on the ball again, arcing run out to this left-hand side, leaves it to James, got support from Davies just inside his own half. The Welsh national anthem rings out from my right, from the red wall. Who've made the long journey to Baku. Ball threaded forward to keeper Moore. Moore can't keep his feet
in that situation.
Yeah. Shaqiri to Mbolo, inside left position, takes Mepham back into the box, shoots across the face of the goal. Danny Ward confident it was always going wide of the far post.
Yeah, does well again. Mbolo, little step over. And then just he tries to use Mepham. Well, he does use Mepham and bend the ball around him on that left channel for the far stick. And
So
very nearly got it right.
Change in the offing, and it's a Switzerland change. And it's Xherdan Shaqiri of Liverpool who's making way for Denis Zakaria. The Mönchengladbach defensive midfield player, nicknamed the Octopus by Gladbach fans. So Shaqiri makes way. Do you think Wales might be relieved he's up, Nathan Blake?
Yeah, because he's done really well. Well, we have to say he's caused Wales all sorts of problems, whether it's in the middle of the park or pulling out on either flank. He's really caused them problems.
66 minutes gone, Wales trailing 1-0. Ray Lembolo broke the deadlock just at the start of the second half, and at the moment Wales have no answer to a solid Swiss lineup who look threatening when they get the ball forward as well. So it'll just mean Embolo and Seferovic up front now, as Moore makes a run out to the right-hand side. Akanji went with him. Wales want the free kick. Moore is complaining as he's on the ground, but linesman was right there and gave nothing. Switzerland throw, and as you might expect now, even though there's a good distance left in this game, they're taking their time at every set piece, Nathan Blake.
Yeah, and you could, if you're Kiefer Moore, you can feel a bit upset with that one. Kanji never in a position to win that ball. Just totally went through the man, to the back of Kiefer Moore. Entitled to win a free kick there.
Moore is on the ball again. It's nicked off him by Akanji once more. Freuler eludes 2-3 Welsh players. They're just good in close situations, the Swiss players.
Just moving the ball quicker, Rob.
Yeah.
1 and 2 touch and have options, better options.
And Babu goes back to Elvedi just inside his own half share, who's dealt well with the threat of Moore. Freuler had made a really good run inside left then, but Akanji goes back to Share once more. There are 3 Wales subs warming up. One of them is Harry Wilson, who could be an option. I think Ethan Ampadu may be down there as well. But Rob Page needs to make something happen. This is not a repeat of Bordeaux so far. Akanji trots forward into the Wales half. Gets the ball back again. And they're just strangling Wales at the moment, Nathan Blake.
Yeah, playing at the tempo, Rob, that suits them. Wales have to do something to change the momentum in this game. Not been able to so far, but it only takes a moment. We've seen it before.
Bale has gone to a more central position, but that's left space on that Wales right-hand side. Seferovic can't control the ball, though. Morel is anxious to take the throw-in quickly. Lobs up the ball for Connor Roberts.
They need legs, Wales do. They look so leggy. They need some of the younger lads, I would say, the likes of Brooks, the likes of Wilson, Tyler Roberts, Norrington Davis. They need legs on the park.
Thrown up to Moore, chested down, lobs it over the top of his right shoulder, bounces easily for Zomer, who's in his melon kit. The Swiss keeper, who save at the early minutes of this game from Kiefer Moore's header, may be a sort of Ben Davis defining moment as it was in 2016, you know? Yeah. The opening goal always makes a big difference, doesn't it?
Absolutely. The worry is it's probably the only thing he's had to do, Rob, so far.
Hasn't hardly been troubled. Here come Wales again, though, building from the left-hand side on 5 Live Radio Wales and World Service. 1-0 to Switzerland. Here's Bale. Buzz of expectation when he gets it. It's not in full flow yet, though. Roberts has gone inside. Back to Ramsey. Ramsey chips it out to Bale again. Tried to flick it past Rodriguez, but he was wise to that. And the minute he wins possession, Rodriguez, he breaks forward.
He's a good player, Rob. Very good player.
He's caused problems, hasn't he, the Torino?
Well, he's physical.
Left back. This is Zakaria, but 4 pass to him. And Wales have the bonus of a throw-in deep inside the Swiss half on the near touchline, the Wales left. Davis sprinting to take it. Short to Allen. Davis again, bursts inside 3. Oh, ball breaks to Moore. Allen looks up, chips it across to Connor Roberts. Now, can he deliver across from the right-hand side? Holds it up for Bale. Back to Roberts again, 15 yards from the corner of the penalty area. Now it's wide to Bale. Bale tries to go on the inside, onto his left foot, puts it into the middle, can't find more with a slide rule pass. Easily intercepted. Wales get possession again, building with Davis. Davis floats it in from the left-hand side, dragged down, looking for Ramsey. They're scrapping for it in the middle, but it's cleared away again as Connor Roberts gave it his full attention.
Yeah, finding it difficult, Wales, to break the Swiss defence and midfield down at the moment, Rob. I used to say it's well organised, the Swiss.
Into the last 20 minutes on 5 Live Radio Wales and BBC World Service. Switzerland leading 1-0.
They clearly think it's enough by putting Zakaria on for Shaqiri.
Yeah.
Big strong lad in midfield. Seen him play plenty of times. He can play a bit, he can break up the play as well. Very good player.
Here's Morel, looks wide to Roberts, midway inside the Swiss half, back inside to Ramsey. There's plenty of this possession, but nothing really telling and meaningful in the penalty area. Moore waits patiently.
This is the key.
And so did James then, and then Babu nicked in and is flying forward into the Wales half. James has got back goal side, brings in the substitute Zakaria. Solid challenge by Mepham, sees the ball rebound to Ramsey. Now James has moved forward down the left-hand side. Can Ramsey pick him out? No, he goes for Allen, who's slightly deeper. Poor ball by Allen to James, but Ramsey picks up the pieces. Accompanied by Embolo, the goal scorer. Allen kills it across the centre circle to Bale. Bale with the captain's armband shining on his left arm. Wide to James on left side, switches play, inside by James. Little touch by Ramsey to Davis. Davis crosses into the middle. Roberts comes in from the far side, and his very presence just ensures that the ball is headed behind for a Wales corner.
Yeah, a bit better from Wales. Wanted that ball in from Ben Davis, a bit lower, just across the 6-yard box. Chose to put a bit of height on it, but easy to deal with from a Swiss point of view. Just need to build momentum now, Rob. They need to try and, keep this Swiss side in the final third for a minute or two, create a couple of chances.
James corner from the Wales right, short to Allen. Back to Morel. Morel chips it in. Moore header! And Kiefer Moore has put Wales level! The gamble of Moore has finally paid off. The bandage got to the ball and directed it into the Swiss net. No chance for Zouma this time. It's Wales 1, Switzerland 1.
Like I said, Rob, all you need is a moment. Short corner, they work it well this time, Wales, and good crossing, and what a run. Great run, gets across his defender, gets across all the defenders, and a lovely directed finish down to Sommer's right-hand side. Morel, lovely clip pass in, and Kiefer Moore does what he does best. Gets across the keeper, out of nothing really, Rob. Out of absolutely nothing.
Well, the former lifeguard has come to their rescue today. Kiefer Moore on the score sheet, and Wales are about to make a change now, and it's David Brooks who's coming on, and it's Daniel James who's making way, Nathan Blake.
Yeah, probably been our biggest threat, I think, Daniel James, from attack point of view. So surprised at that one, but Brooks, excellent player, we know that, Rob. Great pace, great skill, great ability, and him and Gareth Bale are switching flanks now, so let's hope we can get a little bit from Brooksy in this last 15 minutes or so.
Well, what a last 15 minutes we've got now on 5 Live on Radio Wales and the BBC World Service. Wales are level. It's 1-1 in Baku. Kiefer Moore, the Wales goal scorer, textbook header. And you just thought, if he had one chance, we had one chance in the first half, Zouma was equal to it, but that time the Swiss keeper had no chance.
Well, it was a good ball in, Rob, but he's made the goal himself, his run, his movement. And the finish was absolutely superb.
Goal number 6 in his short Wales career. Remember, this is only cap number 18 for Kiefer Moore. 1 every 3 is a happy scoring rate for most strikers. Nathan Blake.
Yeah, very good. So we can get a second, Rob. Like I said, Rob, a moment or so ago, it only takes a moment, and that's what I was hoping for, because Wales weren't playing well enough, I didn't think, to break down this Swiss defence.
And now what's the Swiss mentality? They put a defensive midfield player on for a creative player who's causing all sorts of problems. They still got Freuler though, and he's played the ball out to the left side to Rodriguez, into the Wales penalty area. It's gone all the way through, picked up by the substitute Zakaria, crosses into the middle, and then Bolobi on the far post has headed the ball. I don't quite know how he did that. Headed it back across goal, and it was an offside flag up anyway.
Well, I think it was too far ahead of him, Rob. He does so well to get the head on to get his head on it. It's too far ahead of it. He tries to use the side of his face rather than his forehead to put it back across the goal, because he knows he can't score from that angle. But just warning signs for Wales: don't switch off, don't think the job is done. You know, you want to try and win this game.
Can't throw everything forward. Oh, Ramsey's just fouled then off the ball. His former Arsenal teammate Granit Xhaka said, yes, I've spoken to Aaron Ramsey, but not recently. I still stay in touch with him, but not before a game like this. Here's Brooks, first time for him on the ball. Willowy runner into the midfield. Plays it out to the left-hand side. Davis, he's got Bale on his outside now, but Davis crosses into the middle. Beyond Kiefer Moore that time. Brooks may pick it up on the far side, just drifted out. Sorry, it was Connor Roberts who was there on the far side. And it's 1-1 on 5 Live, Radio Wales and World Service. And the Red Wall, the intrepid Red Wall, who've made the long trip to Baku, are up on their feet, cheering. Some of them have taken the red shirt off. That's how warm it is here. But they're bouncing around a la France of 5 years ago.
Well, it's great for Wales and those Welsh fans. You know, they haven't seen their team perform anywhere near their best today and find themselves, 77 minutes, 78 minutes in on level pegging.
And at the moment, looking a little sharper. Bale just thought he got away from El Vedi then. Wales win back possession in the midfield. Mepham is scrapping for it, gets away with it. Brought down though. It's going to be a free kick. That time it was
Freuler. Yeah.
Freuler.
It's a bit naughty, that one was.
It was in back of his heel, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, he's taking his boot off as well, right, scraping right down the Achilles. Now, that's a really dangerous tackle.
Free kick taken quickly though. Brooks is up ahead. This is Brooks down the right-hand side. Moore waits patiently in the penalty area. Brooks thinks about crossing, lays it back to the edge of the box. It's for Ben Davis to set up and shoot, but Ben Davis, well,
yeah, got that one all
not really
wrong.
his forte scoring goals, is it?
No, got that one all wrong, but it's a lot more promising from Wales. The introduction of Brooks on that right-hand side, I think, just keep feeding him. He looks dangerous already.
Bolo back in his own half. We've got 11 minutes to go, but Wales hunting impacts then too aggressively, according to the referee, who's booked Sharon and Babu for Switzerland and Kiefer Moore, the Wales goal scorer. It's 1-1 as we head to the last 10 minutes. I think the first 80 minutes has been tense. Well, this has all the makings now. Babu can't find Mbolo, but the ricochet off Joe Allen gives the Swiss a throw-in in front of their own technical area.
Yeah, caught in a catch-22 if you're Switzerland now, to go and try and win the game or make sure you don't lose the game. Because I think both teams know you lose the game and you're probably going to be struggling to get out of the group.
They've got enough firepower on the pitch, haven't they? Not least Seferovic, who's trying to work his way around Joe Roden. Oh, he's won it back on the byline. Did well then. Lays it back to Zakaria, but it bounces off Mepham all the way out to Moore. Now Wales will look to break. Gareth Bale, slide rule ball down the left-hand side. Into Ramsey. Ramsey runs into Nico Elvedi. As well prepared to... I thought they were going to make another sub then, but it's Aaron Ramsey just drifting off the pitch for a drink. Yeah. And as Bale attends the throw-in, in fact, he and Kiefer Moore and Ramsey are all taking on fuel.
I'm surprised we haven't seen that this tournament. A little fuel break.
Warm enough to justify it, isn't it?
Well, it's nice and cool up here, Rob, but I bet it's 10 degrees hotter down there.
Davis long throw as the Red Wall sing "Don't Take Me Home." The anthem from France. Davis tries to make his way down the left side, wins a throw 2 yards from the corner flag. We're into 82 minutes on 5 Live Radio Wales and World Service. 1-1 in this Group A encounter in Baku between Wales and Switzerland. Switzerland took the lead through Brelan Bolo.
You're going to see a long throw here, I think, from
Wales
Bale.
equalised through Kiefer Moore, who is just between penalty spot and 6-yard box, as Gareth Bale shows another weapon in his armoury, a long throw. Here it goes into the penalty box. Well, he got there. Long range shot from Morel is easily blocked. Comes back out to Mepham. Mepham centre field, slides it forward to Brooks. He's outnumbered though. Switzerland try and break quickly, but Joe Allen intervenes, hooks the ball out to the left-hand side. Bale was just a little late to it. Lovely touch by Brooks to Bale. Back heel by Bale to Brooks. Cross into the box, and it just too strong. That was much better by Wales.
Yeah,
it was
good play.
Ramsey went sliding in.
That's what a goal can do for the confidence, Rob.
I just think David Brooks makes things happen. Allen is in there. He's still full of running, Joe Allen. Tense here in Baku, 1-1. Babu down the near touchline to Zakaria, who holds off Roden. The 2-6 battling for it. Davis got back there. He goes to ground, pushed over by Zakaria. And Switzerland are about to make another substitution. And it's more firepower. Mario Gavranovic of Dinamo Zagreb, who scored a hat-trick in their last friendly in a victory over Liechtenstein, a 7-0 victory, so he's in goal-scoring form. Just waiting to see who's making way. And it's Haris Seferovic of Benfica who makes way for Mario Gavranovic of Dinamo Zagreb. He's walked up. Wales made a bit of a hash of that, but Allen managed to find Kiefer Moore from the restart. Roberts tried to fire the ball forward for...
He's given away the ball.
Yeah, he has
far
that.
too many times today. Connor.
Zakaria. So Gavranovic is on. Shea makes inroads into the Wales midfield there, just outside the Wales penalty area. Now Shea again. Left-footed touch forward by Gavranovic. Header back inside. Is there an offside flag? No, it stays down. It stays down, and Switzerland have taken the lead, and it's Gavranovic, the substitute, has struck. Well, Wales waited, they looked for a flag, but Gavranovic just rammed the ball home from close range, and Switzerland have retaken the advantage. It's Switzerland 2, Wales 1.
It's offside, Rob,
well,
for me.
it looks offside, doesn't it?
About half a yard offside.
Now, is there a VAR check? Well, Gavranovic looked sharp. Is there a...
If there is a VAR check, I think he's...
Oh, there is a goal check. There's a goal check happening. So Wales may be reprieved. They were certainly complaining that the flag should have gone up. checking for a potential offside leading up to the goal. Everybody waits.
No, he was offside, Rob, for sure.
Wales's hopes in this championship could really depend on this moment. Check for a potential offside. Gavranovic went off celebrating. What an impact he's made. But maybe, just maybe, he moved too quickly. And it is offside. So it's back to a stalemate. It's back to 1-1. And Wales breathe again. A collective sigh of relief from a nation. And this time the Red Walls celebrate a system which has had so many critics, but may just have rescued Wales then, Nathan Blake.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the linesman, Rob. He's looking straight across the line. He's in a perfect position. You know, I'm not trying to jump on referees or linesmen, but sometimes, you know, it is a straightforward decision. I'm 200 metres away. I can see that from here.
Yeah. Good eyes. What are your glasses?
And you know how bad my eyesight is.
Yeah, quite. So it's 1-1 again. Panic over, at least for now. Bell heads on towards the Swiss byline. Elvedi makes sure that Ramsey can't, there's no way around him, and shepherds the ball out for a goal kick. We have 3 minutes plus, I would say a good 3-4 minutes of added time here in Baku, where it's a stalemate.
Yeah, celebrating VAR like it's a goal, the Welsh fans.
Yeah, quite. I mean, I've always been in favour, Nathan. I don't know about you.
Yeah, you know what I said about Rob. You know, if I can get it right here, I'm sure the linesman.
Yeah. Danger not over. I think they wanted offside again, but Gavranovic is on the ball once more. Shoots! This time from distance. Bit of a daisy cutter, but always going well wide. The bowler tried to get a little touch, didn't he?
Yeah, just scuffed it, didn't he? Done well, though. He's looked like he's coming off back onside from an offside position there, Rob. I think that would have been checked as well.
I think it was Zakaria, the substitute. So it's a Wales free kick for offside again. Danny Ward steps good 10 yards out of his penalty area in front of the D. And a goal now probably wins this. It's 1-1. Don't forget, call Rob tonight on Radio Wales, 03700 100 110. Text Vicky on 81012, Twitter on @BBC Radio Wales. Nathan Blake and Kevin Ratcliffe taking your calls. From 4:30, Davis chips the ball inside left position. Lovely flick inside by Ramsey to Bale. And Akanji took the purchase off the shot.
It was a lovely flick though, wasn't it? Beautiful touch inside to Gareth Bale.
He's got more involved second half, hasn't he, Aaron Ramsey?
Oh, he's had a far better second half than first. He's very quiet first half. He seems to have been energised by the goal against.
Nobody wants to make a mistake now. Here comes Mbolo. Why does Zakaria in the penalty area? Tries to cut the ball back, but Roden is there for Wales. Now Ben Davis clears out for a corner. These are tense, nervous times now, as the clock ticks down to 89 minutes.
Yeah,
1-1.
Old cliche, Rob. If you can't win it, then certainly don't lose it.
I suppose a draw keeps Turkey well in it, doesn't it?
Well, it keeps all three of us, you know, ourselves, Switzerland and Turkey.
Rodriguez with this corner from the Swiss right. Got plenty of white shirts in there. Goes across the face of the 6-yard box, and Ward has to turn the header over the top. And again,
gonna have to look at these set pieces, Rob.
It was a free header from Mbolo, wasn't it?
Yeah. You know, he's not the tallest of players, but he's manhandling Joe Allen this time. Joe Allen does a half-decent job sticking with him, but strong boy.
Rodriguez has run all the way across to the Swiss left to take this second corner. A bit lower this time, headed out. Just beyond Brooks, who has to scurry into a defensive position. Cross back into the box. Picked up on the inside right position. And Brooks takes no chance.